Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Rahul, and today I'll be showing you how I built my crosscut sled. I'll also show you a couple of things that I did wrong, so hopefully that'd be something that you can take away and not do the same things when you're building your crosscut sleds. The reason I'm building the crosscut sleds is actually quite important for me before I go into building larger furniture pieces. A crosscut sled is really useful for boards that you can't necessarily get a clean cut from a miter saw, maybe because they're wider, or in general, your miter saw doesn't give you as clean of a cut as your table saw would. For demonstration purposes, if I have a board like this doing rip cuts, it's fairly straightforward. I just lean the board against the fence, and then when I'm running the board, I'm putting pressure down and right towards the fence and run it through the blade, which will give me a nice clean straight cut. However, if I flip the board and want to do a cross cut, I will have to lean that corner edge against the fence. But notice it is so easy to mess up that cut since there is so much movement that can happen, let alone a kickback. For those scenarios, a crosscut sled can be very helpful. So I hope you enjoy the video. I started with 3/4 plywood for my sled. Technically you can use hardwood as well. I chose to keep the thickness to 3/4, just right to have enough blade height to be able to cut thicker material down the line. I made rough cuts for the sled using my track saw. My dimensions were 2 feet by 2 feet. At this point, I didn't see a need to go any wider or longer for my crosscut sled. Here I'm cutting 2 feet long pieces for my front and back fences. I made rip cuts on the table saw to bring down fences to 4 inches in height. I used polyethanol strips that were 3/8 inches in height and 3/4 wide for my table saw slides. And I used double-sided tape to attach them to the sled's base, only until I can add some screws. You will need to put some pennies or washers to bring up the slides a hair bit so it grabs onto the base easy. Here's one mistake that I made here. I pushed too hard while screwing these 5/8 inch screws, which made the polyethanol strips to expand a bit. Luckily, by not too much, just a little bit friction that I can live with. Here you can see it's just a bit of friction then snug. I'll just use some paste wax later on, that might help. After the glue dried, I ran the fences on my jointer to make sure I have perfectly straight edges. I used a 1/2 inch bit to round over the edges, the fences that I will be holding on to for moving the sled. For the front fence that will be facing inside the sled, I put a small chamfer at the bottom, which will avoid any dust buildup. I wanted to put a T-track on the front fence, so I'm using this 3/4 wide, 3/8 inch deep router bit. Here's a big mistake I made when I was making the groove for the T-track. The fence for the router table was not aligned, which threw off my measurements on where and how far in I wanted the T-track groove to be. To make it worse, I made another dumb move and pulled back the piece, which could have been fatal. That was painful, as I had to go back and redo the fence. So cutting again the fence pieces, ripping them. Finally, after I double checked all my measurements, the groove cut was successful. Here I'm cutting the T-track to 2 feet in length, the same as the length of the fence. So there it is, folks. This is the sled. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I think I'm going to enjoy making the cross cuts using the sleds, which are going to be much safer than doing it the other way on a table saw. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something useful from this video. I hope to see you again. If you can please subscribe, that'd be great. When you subscribe to my videos, it allows me to continue to generate content like this. So I hope to see you again. Thank you very much.